Owura Enoch Dery Pufaa. Only a director of programs at the Challenging Heights Ghana. Or ahoma so yemedi nkomo ni nyina child rights and as a right of children, child labor issues no omo edi hu dwuma e wo ha. Right now, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, na mpombo ko there.
Yeah, me adumo.
Yeah, that's a wajebre any twetwe nkomo e wo ha.
Yeah, that's it.
As director of programs at the organization kese say no child right, child labor, and a yamoni so di hunu kese pa no boy mu nkomo ene akwa child and as a world no child labor day no mo betimi de yafa nchechire mu ntitiem kakra ene afutu kakra.
Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity. You better say. And also good morning to your listeners and viewers. And as you rightly said, today is the World Day Against Child Labor. And we are seeing now it's what the was that kind anamotua we are seeing now in line with child labor situations in the world. Into your kind of child labor now, or there you share concepts and what it is about. In the child labor, no, or emofaba what one ye juma or ye juma den, how bro do basically. But you have to mostly mostly in Kofufi there yes my emofaba in ye juma, but it is not exactly the same as the my emofaba in ye juma, but my abofaba in ye juma or bro now do. Into your children's act, your classification of work according to ages. You will be able to find a light work. Law not making it clear that Papa or less than 13 years no. On to mean your light work. You will hazardous work. Hazardous work they will be only 18 years in for the old mean hazardous work. Into Asia, Juma, any fishing related activity, any mining related activity are classified as hazardous work. And I hear what the age of entry into employment, another the working age, which is 15 years. So legally, no, there will be 15 years. Obetuma Juma, so far as it is not hazardous. You see, that's what it is. Okay. So coming back to the celebration, the theme for this year's celebration globally is justice for all and child labor now. And Ghana also, the team has been localized to reflect our own effort and our own needs as a country. In Ghana, government of Ghana, no team award my fine. We are finally age for the occasion here, protecting children against child labor now more than ever. And if Shagana team now, it tells you that like some agency is needed because if Shagana, the child labor situation, you are lucky to, I don't know, I think you are in central region.
Yes.
And
that's why.
Mankasa, you can bear witness to the examples of child labor situations in Ghana. So it is necessary there as a country, both government and non-governmental organizations, the effort to in place. Now, like the increased space, that we are not equally, like in terms of our strength, we are not at the same level. Country one day is different from us. So, and our situation is even worse. All right. So this is what I would say for now. If you have other questions, then I can follow up with my other submissions.
All right. Now, child labor in Ghana, how worsening is the situation? You say it's a idea, but how worsening is it?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. In the message from the global situation, I'm talking about Ghana. Globally, it's estimated that about 160 million children are in child labor situations. And this is according to evidence from UNICEF and the International Labour Organization. Right. Now, if Ghana had the statistics show that about 21% of all children in Ghana. That is like one state. One state of all children in Ghana are in child labor situations. Right. That tells you that it is that significant. Now, if a country knows there are also disparities.
Right.
In the prevalence is very high. And also, one of our biggest challenges is getting statistics and numbers that are very accurate and updated on some of these things. But some of the statistics I want to share the northern sector. Prevalence is around 33%. And southern Ghana broadly, it's around 8%. But it doesn't mean that if you look at it, the figures are very wide. But there are specific locations in southern Ghana where child labor is very rife. Into Ishe, the Volta Lake zone, which anyway stretches from southern Ghana all the way to northern Ghana. Challenging heights last year, independent research. And the evidence showed that about 60% of children in that area, in that stretch, are in child labor situation. Right. So this is the picture, and obviously, a picture all they are happy about. It is a picture that we should worry about and put in more effort in terms of bringing a solution in to the issue of child labor. Right.
Talking about putting in the effort and then subsequently getting the solution out of that, the effort, is it invested into the reduction or the abolition of child labor in the country so far?
Can you come again? I lost you a bit.
Okasafa effort that definitely would cumulate or should cumulate into very good results. A better child labor, no so anase be year free honum crown. So far, no.
Okay. How? Yeah. So some of these we need to be realistic. If you say abolition, it sounds a bit radical,
right,
and not so realistic. But that is the ideal thing we should aspire to. But the immediate to medium and even somewhat long term is reduction, drastic reduction. When we reduce it drastically, then we can now aim at abolition. But with the statistics that I've painted, immediate abolition may be somewhat radical and it may not be attainable in the short to medium term.
Right.
So I will be asking for effort in terms of reducing it drastically so that we are measurable things. So that next time when we are looking at these statistics, the statistics will be very minimal. Then we know that we are taking the right steps towards abolition. Yes, please. And one of the steps we want to, we are urging the government on this World Day Against Child Labor to increase its investments and funding, especially to the state agencies. Right. The Social Welfare Department, the Human Trafficking Secretariat, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, all financial resources that they need. They should try and provide it as much as possible to aid in their work.
Right. And currently, what is being done?
Yeah, so from our side as a non-governmental organization, we are into the rescue, rehab, child labor situations, particularly in trafficking. Right. So when we do this, we contribute in a way towards reduction in the numbers. And to commemorate this year, we rescued 23 children from the Volta Lake area just last week into this week. And that is it signifies our effort as an organization. We are not the only ones doing this. So we'll ask for stronger collaboration with private organizations who are also into similar activities. If we streamline our works, we can support the government in a more effective way. And the government should also be more open to collaborating with the private sector organizations who are working to reduce the situation of child labor in Ghana.
Okay. Now, more challenges, at the same, as a a non-governmental body, more are joining the fight against child labor. No?
Well, so it's the key thing you say is because we are a private organization. One of the most dominant issue will be resources in terms of funding. And per what I've described to you, it's a very expensive venture for you to be able to move from where we are to go to the Water Lake area, undertake rescue. You come and then you undertake rehabilitation, recovery, and reintegration services. It's quite an expensive thing, and resources is one of the challenges.
Right.
And then the other thing we also we see as a challenge is although there's a lot of sensitization and education, people still appear not to be aware of this, the ills of child labor and child trafficking in the country. So these are some of the key drawbacks in the work that we do.
All right. And Enoch, quickly, could you help the difference between child labor and child abuse? If from your experience, you've been able to practically come out with the difference between child labor and a child abuse.
Okay, so let me take it this way. It is child labor is work related. So you better not say that child labor no is juma related. The child is doing something. But abuse, the child may not necessarily be working. You can abuse a child in your home. You can abuse a child in the school. You understand?
Yeah.
There is an aspect of we have recently been dealing with called child domestic workers. With a juma. And the research we did found that although they are relatives of Nkofa, they don't have the same right as their biological children.
Right.
And some of them end up doing work that's abusive, like work that are exploitative, and they deny them of their futures. And these children are abused in a lot of ways. So abuse could include physical abuse, caning, and all that, hitting a child on the head with a cane, with a belt, anything. And it could also include physical sexual abuse.
Right.
Defilement, rape, and all that is part of it, sexual harassment, and all that. Then you can also have psychological abuse. Some adult people they say things to children. It is not the best. It's because it's on radio. I can't repeat some. I can't say some of these things, but they say very, very nasty things to children that affect them psychologically for a long time. And all these things qualify as abuse. But when you say child labor, it means the children are engaged in some form of work. It's work related. That's what you use to distinguish between child labor and child abuse.
Okay. But no answer na child labor no beba mu no na say abuse so kakra e wo mu ho dodo na.
Very well. That is it. So in the process of the labor, then abuse is now implicit. A womb is implicit. That is it. So because you asked me to distinguish, that is what it is. You are very right in this observation.
All right. Enoch Dery Pufaa, it's a pleasure speaking with you this morning.
My pleasure too. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.